how do you respond to somebody saying thank you to you? Well, I was taught from school that I should answer you're welcome in English. And after a couple of years of experience living in Australia, now I'm used to answering in multiple ways. Say, no worries, all good, no problem, and my pleasure. But how do we answer thank you in Korean language? Well, there's a direct translation which is chammaneo. So you're welcome in Korean is chammaneo. The thing is that we don't really speak chammaneo in Korea. Then how do we answer to thank you in Korea? Well, the first typical way of responding to thank you is denying it. We just say 아니요. Here, 아니 means no, 에요 means it is. So it is no. It is not a thing. It is not a thing to be told so. If you look at the expression, the English one, you're welcome, you can notice that you actually admit that it was such a behavior that deserves someone's thankfulness. And by telling the person that you are the one who deserves my behavior, the conversation is made and the favor is exchanged. On the other hand, 아니에요 implies that the person answering to thank you does not actually admit that it was a great behavior such that you should say or you should show your thankfulness. So if 아니에요 means it was not a thing to be told so, what would happen if you affirm that it was such a behavior that deserves your thankfulness? Well, you can do that by saying 네, which means yes. But this will make the entire conversation and situation very uncomfortable, and you may be considered too confident or a bit arrogant person in some cases. So to avoid this situation, we say 아니에요. We deny it. The thing is, if you really want to appreciate the behavior, you may feel your feeling is not delivered enough as the person denies it. Then what do? You just repeat your saying again. Thank you again. Express your thankfulness again. Then it is in many cases considered that the person accepting that thankfulness can say yes. Similarly, if you compliment a person in English, it is natural to accept that compliment and express thankfulness to the nice word. But Korean people accept the compliment by denying it for the same principle. This seemingly inefficient way of communication comes from bewaring of being an arrogant person, as lowering yourself is regarded how you respect other person and how you make them more comfortable in conversation. Then, is there any other way to respond thank you in Korea? Well, there is. Unlike the Western societies, there is a common non-verbal language shared in Eastern societies to interchange respect with each other. Simply by nodding, you can show that you appreciate it, and you can accept it by nodding. So you don't even have to speak thank you. Instead, just nod to express it and nod to take it. Then the conversation is made. Oh, instantly, you can also speak thank you and nod simultaneously. But when you're responding to that, you don't speak anything but just nod to accept it. For your information, nodding is actually a simpler version of bowing and is regarded more casual. So when high level of respectivity is required, you better speak thank you and bow instead of just nodding. Also, nodding implies a bit of respect, so it's more common in between strangers. You don't nod to your friends. Don't do it, it looks weird. Oh, and please don't gather your hands like this when you're nodding or bowing. Firstly, because no one in East Asia does that in daily life, and secondly, because it is considered as a religious behavior or praying gesture in temples. Anyway, today we talked about how we answer to thank you in Korea and the cultural backgrounds as to why we do so. We Koreans accept it by denying it or just noting. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.